since I wasn't feeling well and so forth, and I haven't, but I will. Or either get them on the phone. It's so hard to know when to call anyone on the phone. I have one 90-year-old friend that I call once in a great while. She's not a big talker, but she likes to keep in touch once in a while. And, well, she was preparing her supper. Well, of course, I was sorry I called her then, but got off the phone. But anyway, just to touch base with them. But, you know, when people are all off somewhere else and it's not anybody very close, I'm sure I sound like I'm complaining, and I don't mean to be complaining, but this is what happens if you are the one that somebody has to be the last, I guess, you know. We aren't all dying at once, but this friend who I had as a close friend from school days, but that just developed all through the years, and even though we weren't together a lot, might not see each other for a year. It just varied from time to time. But when she called and told me she was dying, you know, it was a very dramatic moment. I just could hardly say anything, and then on top of it, she said, "It's been good knowing you." I just couldn't keep it back, you know, and I was saying, well, I don't know. It's good to have.
We started talking about advice, and then you
went get off of it.
Went into another subject, but how about some advice?
I've told the kids the same thing that the grandmother told me. Said pennies make dimes, and dimes make dollars. And I said they still do. So that's what she said. I tell you, I worry about even some of my children. You know, well, what are you going to do? You know, you can't control what other people do with their money. I don't know that it is even worth trying, but I figure that I just got my ideas from what I could observe. My parents, I don't know, somehow or other, I just always knew I was supposed to do the best that I could. And somehow or other I got the idea that if I couldn't do something well, forget it. Do more something I could do well. What do you think about that? I finally did bowl, but I could never, and I guess I might have bowled one or two games that got up like 140 or 150, but my mother, she was living right next door, you know, to Schultz Garden. She grew up next door to Schultz Garden. Well, they had a bowling alley there many years, and I'm sure she bowled many years. She bowled a lot, and I knew her. And in years when we kids weren't at home during the afternoon or the day, well, she had a nice group of women that she bowled with in a team, and they came over here and bowled the New Braunfels women over here at the New Braunfels. And I came across a picture of her this morning, of their team. They're going to put one of them in of the team.
9-pin bowling?
No, this was 10-pin. They might have at one time bowled 9-pin there. I don't know that. But I never remember her saying that, and I know she bowled 10 pin. But they bowled.
Remember your mom? You're talking about your mom being a little bit more athletic than.
She was more athletic. She never had an opportunity to learn to swim, but she went down into the neighborhood pool and learned to swim in order to keep herself afloat. Not that she went swimming a lot, but they could go down there at night, and swim. They had a circular pool and 4 foot, deep pool. And she played volleyball. I just always felt so stupid because I couldn't get the ball over the net the way that a lot of the other girls could do. And I wanted to learn to play tennis. I had no confidence whatsoever in myself as far as. But now, I can play the piano. I could do some other things, and what I could do well, that's what I'd like to do. I never did like to do something I couldn't do well. I don't know. That's good or bad, but I do think that if I want somebody to do a job for me, I want it done well. And if that's not possible, I want to find somebody that can do it well. To me, that's not unreasonable. If everybody could be placed in something where they can do well, what difference? Wouldn't that make a difference in our world today? And so much of what we're doing for each other to make our living and also to provide whatever that service is for others, it's just ought to be done well. That's my viewpoint.
Sure, there's been a lot of talk in the last just a couple weeks in the news about the necessity for kids to aspire to go to university. And it used to be.
The only thing is, I don't want to see people inspired to go to university who learn on a level below that.
Well, it's meant for certain people, but certain people who are better meant to be under the hood of a car, because that's where their interests lie, that's where their passion lie, and that's where their expertise lie. Then why go to a 4-year college? But if you're going to be a professional, that's one thing. But not everybody's going to be a professional.
I really have a feeling that there are a lot of things that I could not learn about. I mean, nuclear for one. I mean, to get into research of, well, you can't do everything. I mean, if you want to study one thing, you might be able to study 2 or 3 or 4, but that's still not everything. So I don't see that there is one person anywhere that could have the mentality to understand everything there is in this earth. If so, it could be God.
Well, sure. Of course, there was the growing up, the Greek ideal of having a rounded education with both intellectual and artistic